question has existed for about 5 decades and still has no answer. It is known that despite its success, the series, which lasted 14 seasons with a total of 431 episodes, ended due to many disputes and behind-the-scenes secrets. If you're curious about what led to Bonanza going off the air, this video is for you. Get ready and let's go. The inadvertent lapse of copyright protection led to 31 episodes entering the public domain. In the landscape of modern television, where copyright protection is zealously guarded, it's a stark contrast to the more relaxed approach to intellectual property in Hollywood's earlier years. Bonanza, despite its iconic status, found itself in an unexpected situation where a significant portion of its early episodes accidentally entered the public domain due to laxity in renewing copyrights. Unlike the stringent copyright practices employed by contemporary TV networks, the environment surrounding intellectual property rights was less meticulous during the early days of Bonanza. The show's production team, for reasons unknown, did not prioritize the renewal of copyrights for its initial 31 episodes. This oversight had unintentional consequences, allowing these episodes to fall into the public domain. The public domain status meant that individuals and entities were free to use and distribute these episodes without the need for permission or licensing. This unique situation resulted in the emergence of unofficial compilations and distributions of the early Bonanza episodes. These unauthorized compilations, made possible by the public domain status, allowed enthusiasts and collectors to access and share these episodes more freely than what is typically permitted under strict copyright regulations. The accidental entry of a significant portion of Bonanza's early content into the public domain sheds light on the evolving landscape of copyright practices in the entertainment industry. It stands as a historical anomaly, showcasing the unintended consequences of lax copyright management during a time when the industry's understanding and enforcement of intellectual property rights were still evolving. For fans and collectors, the public domain status of the first 31 episodes of Bonanza became an intriguing and unexpected opportunity. Unofficial compilations and distributions surfaced, allowing enthusiasts to explore and enjoy these early episodes outside the usual channels of official releases. This unintentional detour into the public domain added a layer of complexity to the show's legacy, making these episodes more accessible to a wider audience than anticipated. In the pilot episode, there was a deleted scene featuring the Cartwrights singing the theme song. The theme song of Bonanza is an iconic piece of television history, a musical composition that resonates with viewers even decades after the show's original run. Instantly recognizable, the instrumental version of the theme is etched into the memories of fans. What many may not realize is that, at one point, the theme had lyrics that, while not necessarily memorable, add an intriguing layer to the show's musical legacy. Despite the enduring popularity of the instrumental version, the lyrics to the Bonanza theme are not widely known, and there's a reason for that. They are not considered a shining example of lyrical brilliance. The decision to stick with the instrumental rendition for the opening credits was a wise move, sparing viewers from what might have been a less-than-stellar lyrical experience. Interestingly, in the pilot episode of Bonanza, there was a surprising twist planned for the iconic theme. The Cartwright boys, Ben, Hoss, Adam, and Little Joe, were intended to sing the entire theme song in a scene. This ambitious musical moment, however, was ultimately left on the cutting room floor before the episode aired. The decision to excise the singing scene was likely influenced by a desire to maintain the serious and dramatic tone of the show, as the Cartwrights breaking into song might have disrupted the Western ambiance. For those curious about this musical deviation, the scene featuring the Cartwright boys singing the complete Bonanza theme is available online today. It offers a rare glimpse into what might have been, an alternate universe where the characters, known for their cowboy exploits, also showcased their vocal talents. Michael Landon encountered numerous challenges with the production crew on the set. While Michael Landon's contributions to Bonanza as an actor and writer were undoubtedly significant, his reputation as an exemplary professional was tinged with stories of behind-the-scenes drama and a reputation for being a challenging collaborator. The most notorious and well-documented feud was with Pernell Roberts, creating a long-standing insult fest that became a defining aspect of the show's off-screen dynamics. However, Roberts was not the sole target of Landon's discontent on set. Landon's penchant for clashes extended beyond the cast to various crew members, creating an atmosphere of tension behind the scenes. Whether it was a lighting technician, a sound engineer, or any other member of the production team, it seemed that Landon always found something to complain about in terms of how the show was being produced. His quest for perfection manifested in meticulous attention to detail that for some bordered on the obsessive and became a source of annoyance for those working closely with him. The litany of grievances that Landon aired about the production process reflected his unwavering dedication to ensuring that every aspect of the show met his standards. This commitment to excellence, while admirable in its pursuit of quality, created an environment where the production team had to navigate the challenges of working with a perfectionist whose expectations were, at times, deemed overly demanding. The behind-the-scenes clashes involving Landon underscored the complexities of producing a long-running and successful television series. While the on-screen chemistry among the Cartwright family members contributed to the show's appeal, the off-screen dynamics painted a more intricate picture. Landon's reputation for being a formidable force, both in front of and behind the camera, added a layer of complexity to the legacy of Bonanza. A profound animosity existed between Michael Landon and Pernell Roberts. The departure of Pernell Roberts from Bonanza was not solely attributed to creative differences in the production and casting choices. A significant contributing factor to his decision to leave the show for good was the strained relationship between him and co-star Michael Landon, who played the role of Little Joe Cartwright. The discord between the two actors, characterized by mutual disdain and public spats, played a prominent role in shaping the behind-the-scenes drama of the iconic Western series. Michael Landon's open disdain for Roberts was not a well-kept secret. The atmosphere on set was tainted by the palpable tension between the two actors, and Landon made little effort to conceal his feelings. This discord was not limited to the confines of the studio. It spilled over into the public domain through Landon's appearances on talk shows. Landon had developed a habit of gossiping about his fellow cast members, and when it came to Roberts, the comments were consistently negative. The public airing of grievances added an extra layer of drama to the narrative surrounding the show, attracting attention and speculation from fans and the media alike. In a reciprocated fashion, Pernell Roberts wasn't one to shy away from expressing his criticisms, particularly directed at Michael Landon. Roberts, in various media interactions, didn't hesitate to voice his disapproval of Landon's acting abilities. This public exchange of disparaging remarks between the two lead actors created a backdrop of tension that went beyond the characters they portrayed on screen. The strained relationship between Roberts and Landon became a significant subplot in the larger narrative of Bonanza. The public feuds, fueled by personal animosities, added a layer of complexity to the dynamics of the show and became a topic of discussion both within the industry and among fans. It was a departure from the carefully crafted image of camaraderie often associated with successful television ensembles. Pernell Roberts departed the series due to conflicts arising during the filming process. The departure of lead actors from television shows is not an uncommon occurrence, and Bonanza faced its share of challenges in this regard. One of the most significant losses for the series was the departure of Pernell Roberts, who portrayed the character of Adam Cartwright. The reasons behind Roberts' exit were rooted in creative differences, although he may have framed it as a principled moral stand. Roberts, a talented and pivotal member of the cast, found himself at odds with certain aspects of the show's creative direction. One notable point of contention was his dissatisfaction with the casting choices for Native American characters. Specifically, he voiced concerns about the use of black and white actors to portray Native Americans, a common practice at the time in the entertainment industry. For Roberts, this issue became a matter of principle, reflecting a desire for more authentic and respectful representation on the show. In an effort to retain Roberts, Lorne Greene, another key figure on the show, engaged in persuasive discussions with the actor. Greene, who played the patriarchal figure, Ben Cartwright, urged Roberts to continue with the series despite their differences. Perhaps fueled by a desire to maintain the cohesion of the core cast, Greene's efforts temporarily convinced Roberts to stay on for a bit longer. However, despite Greene's persuasive efforts, Roberts ultimately made the decision to part ways with Bonanza after approximately 200 episodes. The show's creative team faced the challenge of addressing this significant departure in a way that would make sense within the narrative. The solution they devised was to have Adam Cartwright's character leave for Europe and never return. This departure provided closure for the character, while also allowing the show to continue with a revised dynamic. During the initial seasons, guest stars received higher compensation than the primary cast members. The journey of the actors who portrayed the Cartwrights in Bonanza is a fascinating exploration of how a single television show could transform relatively unknown performers into enduring acting legends. Before Bonanza, the main cast members had indeed established themselves in Hollywood, but they were far from being the superstars that the show would ultimately catapult them into. This unique dynamic gave rise to some intriguing salary arrangements during the early seasons, reflecting the show's initial struggle for recognition and success. In the early days of Bonanza, when the main cast was still building their individual star power, the producers employed a strategic approach to boost the show's appeal. Recognizing the need to attract viewers, the producers enlisted the talents of heavyweight guest stars, including luminaries like Adam West, Leonard Nimoy, and Zsa Zsa Gabor. These seasoned actors brought a level of recognition and star power to the show, drawing in audiences and generating buzz around Bonanza. However, the financial dynamics at play during these formative seasons took an interesting turn. In an effort to ensure the show's survival and increase its competitiveness in the highly competitive television landscape, the producers made a calculated decision to pay the guest stars more than the main cast. This unconventional salary structure was grounded in the belief that these high-profile guest appearances were crucial in attracting viewers and ensuring the show's viability. At the time, the regular cast members, who would later become acting legends, were not household names. Consequently, the showrunners wagered that the investment in established stars for guest appearances would be a key driver in the show's early success. This unique salary strategy, while uncommon in the industry, reflected the pragmatic approach adopted by the producers to navigate the challenges of launching a new series with an ensemble cast that that had yet to attain widespread recognition. The gamble paid off. The infusion of star power from guest appearances, coupled with the enduring appeal of the show's core cast, contributed to Bonanza's rise to prominence. As the series gained traction and the main cast members solidified their status as iconic figures in television history, the initial salary differentials became a curious footnote in the evolution of the show. To cut costs, producers limited the characters' wardrobes. Bonanza, despite its widespread popularity and success, navigated the ever-present challenge of financial constraints throughout its run. The producers, ever mindful of budgetary considerations, adopted a pragmatic approach to keep costs in check. One notable area where frugality was evident was the wardrobe department's strategic decision to minimize the variety of character costumes. In the world of Bonanza, where the Cartwright family and other characters roamed the expansive Ponderosa Ranch, the wardrobe was deliberately kept to a minimum. This was not merely a cost-cutting measure to save money on fabric and supplies, although that was undoubtedly a factor. The deliberate choice to limit the characters' costumes had a dual purpose. It also facilitated the production process, particularly in terms of filming efficiency. The characters on Bonanza were, for the most part, consistently dressed in the same attire. This intentional wardrobe repetition served as a practical filmmaking strategy. With characters wearing virtually identical outfits in multiple episodes, the show gained the flexibility to reuse footage seamlessly for common scenes. For instance, when characters embarked on journeys from one location to another, or engaged in routine activities, the recycled wardrobe allowed the producers to seamlessly integrate previously filmed footage. This approach not only contributed to cost savings, but also streamlined the production process. The producers of Bonanza demonstrated a remarkable aptitude for stretching their budget to its limits. This proficiency in cost-cutting and resourcefulness allowed the show to thrive despite financial constraints. The strategic decision to keep characters in consistent attire not only met the practical needs of the production, but also became a distinctive characteristic of the show's visual identity. During the show's initial seasons, actors performed their own stunts. Bonanza, now hailed as a television classic, embarked on its journey with considerably modest expectations. In its infancy, the show struggled to amass the financial largesse that would later become synonymous with its success. This economic constraint compelled the production to adopt cost-cutting measures, and one notable area where corners were trimmed was in the realm of stunt work. During the nascent years of Bonanza, the actors found themselves not just in the roles of the Cartwright family, but also on the front lines of the action, tasked with executing their own stunts. The decision to forego the use of stunt doubles was a financial necessity, reflecting the frugal landscape of the show's early days. While this move contributed to the authentic portrayal of the characters' physical exploits, it also added an element of risk and adventure behind the scenes. Remarkably, considering the absence of professional stunt doubles, the production managed to navigate this uncharted territory without any major injuries. The commitment of the cast to bring realism to their characters by performing their own stunts demonstrated a remarkable dedication to the craft and a willingness to go above and beyond the call of duty. However, amid the daring leaps and bounds, there emerged an anecdote that added a touch of humor to the otherwise serious business of stunts. Lorne Greene, one of the lead actors in the series, found himself at the center of an embarrassing behind-the-scenes moment. In a stunt involving a daring jump from a cliff into a body of water, Greene's toupee, an element of his on-screen persona, unexpectedly revealed its buoyant properties. As Greene descended into the water, the unforeseen flotation of his toupee stole the spotlight, resurfacing on the water's surface before the actor himself. This light-hearted and somewhat embarrassing incident added a touch of levity to the otherwise rigorous and physically demanding work on set. It became a memorable footnote in the production's history, showcasing the camaraderie among the cast and crew who navigated both the challenges and unexpected comedic moments that came with the territory of doing their own stunts. Chevrolet was a persistent sponsor of the series for an extended period. In the annals of television history, the marriage of corporate sponsors and TV shows has often been a strategic and commonplace alliance. However, the sponsorship choice for Bonanza stands out as a particularly unusual and, some might say, anachronistic pairing. The unlikely sponsor in question was none other than Chevrolet, a brand synonymous with modern automobiles, aligning itself with a Western series set in the late 1800s. The temporal incongruity of Bonanza, a show steeped in the traditions and landscapes of the Old West, being sponsored by a contemporary automobile manufacturer like Chevrolet, is a fascinating paradox. Despite the narrative unfolding in a bygone era where horse-drawn carriages and stagecoaches were the primary modes of transportation, Chevrolet became an integral part of the show's corporate sponsorship landscape. The collaboration between Bonanza and Chevrolet began in the show's third season and endured for a significant portion of its run. This partnership saw actors from the series making occasional appearances in Chevrolet commercials, bridging the gap between the fictional world of the Ponderosa Ranch and the contemporary world of automobiles. The juxtaposition of rugged cowboys and cattle ranchers alongside sleek modern vehicles in promotional materials added a layer of surrealism to the advertising landscape. This cross-promotion strategy between a Western television series and an automotive giant like Chevrolet is often regarded as one of the most bizarre in the history of television. It raises questions about the motivations behind such a pairing, whether it was an intentional attempt to create a memorable and unconventional marketing strategy or simply a product of the peculiarities of advertising decisions in that era. To enhance his height, Michael Landon donned elevated shoes with platforms. Michael Landon, renowned for his roles in iconic television series like Bonanza and Little House on the Prairie, faced a peculiar challenge that transcended the boundaries of his acting career: his height. Despite playing the character Little Joe in Bonanza, Landon harbored discomfort at being the shortest individual on the set. This discomfort led him to employ a clever and visually deceptive solution: platform shoes. These shoes weren't just a subtle lift. They added a substantial 4 inches to his actual height, effectively transforming his on-screen presence. The fact that Landon resorted to such measures sheds light on the importance he placed on his physical appearance in relation to his characters. The choice to wear platform shoes was not merely a pragmatic decision to enhance the aesthetics of his roles. It also hinted at a personal sensitivity about his height. It's an intriguing glimpse into the actor's psyche, revealing that even someone as successful and acclaimed as Michael Landon grappled with insecurities. Interestingly, this height-conscious strategy was not a one-time occurrence in Landon's career. When he took on the role of Charles Ingalls in Little House on the Prairie, a different series set in a different era, he continued to employ a similar tactic. This time, it was platform boots that ensured he would tower over the rest of the Ingalls family. The consistency in his approach across different shows suggests that his height remained a source of concern for him, or perhaps it became a deliberate choice to maintain a certain image. The series flourished in a time slot traditionally reserved for shows on the brink of failure. The seemingly inconsequential decision of when and where a television show airs holds significant weight in the highly competitive landscape of the entertainment industry. The meticulous selection of a time slot can be a make-or-break factor, influencing the fate of a show and determining whether it will flourish or face the dreaded axe. This strategic dance of scheduling is a critical aspect of network television, and the journey of Bonanza through various time slots serves as a vivid illustration of its impact. In the intricate dance of television scheduling, Bonanza found itself facing a pivotal moment when it was relegated to Sunday nights at 9, a time slot traditionally reserved for struggling shows teetering on the brink of cancellation. At first glance, this move might have seemed like a disadvantage for the show. Sunday night at 9 was perceived as a burial ground for programs that failed to capture audience interest. However, against the odds, Bonanza not only weathered this seemingly unfavorable time slot, but thrived in it. The decision to move the show to this specific time proved to be a stroke of scheduling genius. Rather than succumbing to the assumed fate of poor-performing shows, Bonanza defied expectations, and its ratings experienced a meteoric rise. From 1964 to 1967, during its tenure in the Sunday night 9-time slot, Bonanza achieved unparalleled success. The show ascended to the coveted #1 spot in the ratings, dominating the television landscape during this period. The change in date and time proved to be a transformative factor, turning what could have been a perilous situation into an opportunity for unprecedented triumph. During the 1970s, repeated broadcasts took place under an alternate name. In the realm of television, reruns have long been a standard practice, offering producers an opportunity to attract new viewers and actors, a chance to relish the continuous flow of royalty checks. However, the 1970s ushered in a unique approach to reruns, courtesy of the iconic Western series, Bonanza. In an unconventional move, Bonanza ventured into rerun territory as early as 1972, a time when the show was still actively producing and airing new episodes. This departure from the conventional practice of waiting until a series concluded before reruns began was just the beginning of the show's distinctive rerun strategy. What truly sets Bonanza apart from its television counterparts was the decision to repackage the reruns under a completely different name, Ponderosa. This choice was groundbreaking and virtually unprecedented in the television landscape. While it's not uncommon for reruns to be broadcast under the original show's title, the decision to opt for an alternative name was a bold move that had fans and industry insiders buzzing with curiosity. The name Ponderosa wasn't entirely disconnected from the essence of Bonanza. In fact, it bore a close relation to the setting of the series, the Ponderosa Ranch, the sprawling backdrop against which the Cartwright family's adventures unfolded. Despite this connection, the decision to rebrand the reruns introduced a level of intrigue and novelty that captivated audiences. This unprecedented approach to reruns not only kept the show's narrative alive in the minds of viewers, but also sparked conversations about the industry's willingness to experiment with established norms. The strategy showcased a forward-thinking approach on the part of the producers, who recognized the evolving dynamics of television consumption and sought innovative ways to maintain and expand their audience. What do you think about the behind-the-scenes secret that caused Bonanza to